Minority is used in this context as only a low percentage of the world population using these fonts. And most of the time, the typefaces for these scripts, like Mongolian and Tibetan, are not rendering well or functioning properly. So that's why this new research project entitled Mongolian script from metal type to digital font is introducing a new approach to designing or developing Mongolian typefaces. It uses the same methodology that I used for my PhD research on Tibetan typeforms, and the project illustrates that solutions can be found by undertaking sound research in the development of the Mongolian script into print, combined with investigating different typesetting methods and a profound knowledge of today's font technology. The methodology was already introduced to other non-Latin writing systems by Dr. Fiona Ross in case of Bengali typeface design and typography, and in some respect by Baturalo Naik for Devanagari typography, and the work of both those authors I used as a model for my PhD research. At present, the research project is locating and collecting lots of samples from different Mongolian typefaces all over the world. In this case, you see a detail from a first metal printing type that was created for the Mongolian script by the Parisian punch cutter Firmin Didot to publish and print the work of L'Anglais, an alphabet Tartar and Manchu. The research not only wants to investigate the macro levels of all these different typefaces that I collect, like looking at the context, why they were designed and who used them, but also character sets, like the size of a complete syllabary or alphabet for the Mongolian script. It also looks at the color and the weight of each of these typefaces. And also, for instance, in the case of, as you can see here, the printing sheet from a London type founder, Richard Watts. The typeface was mainly used for setting Bible translations into Mongolian in the mid and early 19th century. Or this case, an example from an academic printing house in the Netherlands, Brill, who used this typeface to set academic printing text. But although also the micro level of each of these typefaces are being examined, and like close-ups of the typefaces are being investigated, all the printing types and typefaces are being dissected, and in collaboration with Mongolian linguists and academics, a descriptive framework is being developed to describe and facilitate the communication on the visual and technical quality and analysis of each of the typefaces. Newspapers, in this case, those two examples come from the collection of the National Museum of Mongolian History here in Ulaanbaatar, or also very good examples to do research from. We can see which typefaces were used for display text, for setting the headlines, for which ones were used for setting the body text and the captions. And the descriptive framework that is being developed, that is dissecting each of the characters, uses the anatomical elements of the Mongolian writing system to facilitate the communication about the research. One aim is to develop a digital database of all the collected samples, to publish and to write the findings and the context of these Mongolian typefaces, and also to compile a very large matrix which in one blink of the eye facilitates the comparison of all the different characters of the examined Mongolian scripts. The slide you see at present is an example from my PhD work on Tibetan typeforms, which shows the matrix that I developed for the study there. Also, typesetting methods are being investigated and studied. The example you see here is an example of a Mongolian typewriter, also from the collections of the same Museum of History. And this provides us with information about keyboard layouts and how to access each of the characters of the Mongolian script on the keyboard. And this study can inform us on how to do it in today's font technology and using different computer layouts of the keyboards and combining or designing a standard version for it. This is a detail of the referendum on independence, which was typewritten with the typewriter from the museum collection, which also provides us with information on the character set and how the character set of the script was restricted to this technical device. From the whole project, a website is being developed, and the website actually functions as a platform of the project and the research. It is an international open source network of collaborations, and the website publishes all the findings, also the database, the matrix, the theoretical and the visual analysis of the typefaces that have been studied, but also gives references to all the material that has been researched and collected and studied all over the world, and references to all the collaborators on the project. So it's the first time that for the Mongolian script and Mongolian typography, this information will be available to everyone in the world and be hopefully a very good and valuable research for anyone who's interested in Mongolian script, Mongolian typography, typeface design and graphic design, but also historians or librarians and academics on Mongolian writing and Mongolian printing. Here is, for instance, the example or the post that I was published that explains about the first printing type being created. But apart from providing a profound or a good historical account of the development of Mongolian typefaces throughout history up to today, the project also aims to provide guidelines to inspire typeface designers and graphic designers to develop and to use good quality typefaces for Mongolian publications, so that the literacy can be improved by using by the typographic design of Mongolian magazines, like newspapers, magazines, but also online sources and touchscreen devices like mobile phones, iPads, and other devices. And it also maybe aims to inspire people to, for instance, instead of using the rigidness of the early printing types, introduce humanistic qualities which can be found in the traditional, but also contemporary writing practices of Mongolian scribes, Mongolian calligraphers, and artists. So I hope this is a valuable research, and I thank you very much for your attention. Baerdemaeker.